Hartley Brewer is a broadcaster for Talk TV, and I quite like Talk TV as a concept. I wish it were a little bit more professional, and every so often I switch it on and I hear rants like the one here. This was an interview with the Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary Peter Kyle about Rishi Sunak's Brexit deal. Now, Peter Kyle congratulates Sunak on the Windsor agreement, and then she tells him that it's because of him and his and people like him, his party of Remainers, who have worked with the EU to undermine Brexit. It's utter tosh. Listen to what she says here.
Brexiteers among my audience, a lot of people have tweeted in and texted in and made this point. It's a bit darn rich for Remainers like yourself to be saying, well, there was this terrible deal, the Northern Ireland Protocol, Boris Johnson signed it, Rishi Sunak was in government, he signed off on it as well, got us into this mess in the first place. Isn't the reason we're in this mess that people like you, and indeed your party leader, Keir Starmer, worked with the EU against the UK to undermine the democratic vote for Brexit, to try and prevent it, got us into the horrible quagmire of 2018 and 2019, which was only broken by that landslide victory for Boris Johnson with the mandate to get Brexit done?
Well, she can say this, and it really was a tirade, and it was quite shocking to hear. But the real failure of Brexit and the real failure of Boris was his failure to check the detail and to be prepared to wade things through without reading them carefully, to get Parliament to wade things through without reading them carefully. And as the Northern Ireland people keep saying, the DUP keep saying, the devil is in the detail. But the Northern Ireland Protocol, the Northern Ireland Protocol was a problem, as also was the failure to replicate or replace or mirror the Dublin III arrangement, which would have sorted out the problem that we now have with refugees crossing the Channel. I think there's two problems with refugees crossing the Channel. Number one, it does encourage fraudulent migrants, and number two, it puts so many people in danger because we don't have secure and safe routes for migrants or for asylum seekers to journey to the UK. And so that puts their lives in danger, and it also puts the lives and the well-being of people, particularly on the south coast, in danger. And the government's response, or rather the Home Office response, under a series of completely blinkered and ill-equipped ministers, starting with Mrs May, going on particularly to Priti Patel and the current incumbent, Suella Braverman, is to go slow and to pump out the hostile environment, which actually means we are paying so much money to accommodate people in hotels, people who actually may have very genuine reasons for wanting to be here. And under the 1951 Refugee Convention, we should be hosting them and we should be giving them asylum. And we should be processing them significantly quicker than we are. And Suella Braverman has already admitted, as I posted on the 22nd of November last year, she admitted in a Commons Select Committee meeting to Tim Lawton that actually coming here, quote, illegally, using an illegal route, was probably the only way many migrants can come to this country to claim asylum in a legitimate way, and that they would have legitimate claims. She admits this, and she admitted that an illegal route was the only one that they could use. So a lot of this is rhetoric, and a lot of this is about the failure of Boris's government, particularly, to do the hard work and to check the detail. So it's not about a conspiracy of Remainers sabotaging Boris's Brexit. It's about people not having the people in power not having the political clout and the political credibility to do what needs to be done. Once the decision was taken to go for Brexit, we should have taken that decision to go for Brexit, and without any nonsense. Instead, Mrs. May messed around because she was too obsessed with paperwork and not with reality. And I still don't see, after 6 years, I still don't see any advantages to Brexit. I see none. But at least this tidies up the problem. So from that point of view, yes, she could turn to me and she could say that I'm another Remainer who has been sabotaging Brexit. I have not been sabotaging Brexit in any way. I've been wishing that Brexit would actually get done properly. But it still hasn't. And now, even now, while the signals look good for the new agreement, we still haven't seen it in place. So we still need to see the practical implementation of this Windsor agreement. I think Julia Hartley Brewer is being unfair, and but you know, she's trying to capture views, and that's very difficult on Talk TV, I gather. I would be only too happy to have a conversation with her, and in fact, I've written to her to suggest it. I wait for her to take me up on that one.